I used to think I understood what danger looked like. It wore leather jackets, hung out in dim bars, drove loud cars with bad mufflers. These days, danger shows up on my phone. Soft beige colors, white sneakers on spotless floors, green smoothies in glass jars, a girl smiling at the camera, face lit by a ring of light, comments full of hearts and fire emojis, people saying how much they wish they could be her. If you scroll fast, it all looks harmless, clean, perfect. But I worked a case that taught me something I will not forget. In my line of work, monsters do not always look like monsters. Sometimes they look like your favorite influencer. Sometimes they look like a clean girl in a shopping mall, with a tote bag over one arm and 1 million followers in her pocket. My name is Daniel Reyes. I spent more than 3 decades as a detective in a small county in the heart of the United States. We have one real shopping mall. It sits just off the interstate, brick and glass, and too many empty storefronts, clinging to relevance like a ship that has already taken on water. For a long time, that mall was where teenagers went to flirt, parents went to buy school shoes, and old folks walked laps when the weather got bad. Then one spring, it became the center of the darkest case I ever worked. We call it the Clean Girl case. Her name online was Aria Lane. That was not the name on her driver's license. Her birth certificate said something else. We will leave that aside. But if you opened your phone 2 or 3 years ago and liked anything to do with makeup, skincare, minimalism, or lifestyle, it was hard to avoid her. She was what the internet called a clean girl influencer. Every video looked the same, and yet somehow different. Morning routines in an apartment with white walls and pale wood floors. Soft music in the background. Skin glowing. No visible clutter. She would do her skincare, every serum explained in a calm, gentle voice. Hair pulled back, gold hoops in her ears, lip balm dabbed on in slow motion. Always a candle burning somewhere behind her, something with a name like Vanilla Cloud or Soft Cotton. She preached about routines, gratitude, hydration, journaling. If you watched enough of her videos, you started to feel like your own life was a little too loud, a little too messy, and that maybe, if you just bought that same white hoodie and that same simple gold necklace, you could fix it. That was Aria's gift. She made people want to be her. By the time I heard her name, she had more than 1 million followers on one platform and hundreds of thousands on others. Brands were sending her boxes of products. Companies were paying her to mention their coffee, their planners, their sneakers. She had started doing appearances. Pop-ups in malls, meet and greets in beauty stores, coffee events where fans could take photos with her while she sipped a matcha latte and smiled like all of this fame had just quietly happened to her. One of those events brought her into my world. It was a Saturday in early spring. Cold wind, but bright sun. The kind of day when families wanted somewhere indoors to walk around without freezing. The mall had set up a little stage area near the middle, right in front of one of the few still healthy stores. String lights, a white couch, a standing sign with Aria's face on it. Clean mornings with Aria. Live. Today. Underneath, smaller letters said she would be sharing her favorite routines, taking questions, and doing a meet and greet after. To the mall, this was a blessing. A chance to bring in younger customers, to fill the food court, to make the place feel alive again. To one little girl in our town, it felt like the biggest day of her life. Her name was Kayla James. Kayla was 10 years old. 4th grade. Big brown eyes. 2 missing teeth in the front that had just grown back crooked. Her mother, Denise, worked nights at the warehouse by the interstate. Her father lived in another state with a new family. In a lot of ways, Kayla raised herself. She got herself up for school. She made cereal for breakfast while her mother slept. She came home to an empty apartment and turned on the television for company. Somewhere in all that, she found Aria online. She watched the morning routines, the glow-up videos, the shopping hauls from big city malls. She started saving her allowance for a white hair clip like the one Aria wore. She dragged her mother to the drugstore to find the same shade of lip gloss. When the mall announced that Aria was coming, Kayla begged her mother for 3 days straight. Please, Mom. You do not even have to buy a ticket. It is free. Please, please, please. Denise was exhausted, but she loved her daughter. She got off her 3rd shift, took a short nap, and let Kayla wake her up, eyes shining. They got on the city bus together. Kayla wore her best jeans and a pale sweatshirt she had washed twice to make it softer. She carried a small notebook, just in case she got close enough for an autograph. Denise brought her old phone to take pictures. That phone ended up being important later. When Denise told me about that day, she kept circling back to the same thought. I just wanted to give her something. Just one thing that felt special. I was at the station that morning, doing paperwork. Nothing urgent on the board. One of the younger officers mentioned the mall event while pouring coffee. He joked about detectives doing skincare tutorials for attention. We laughed. I had no idea that a few hours later, all of us would be in that mall, eyes on security screens, listening to a mother screaming her child's name. The call came just after noon. At first, it came as a possible lost child, common enough. But the dispatcher's voice was too tight. Child missing for more than 30 minutes. Mother extremely distressed. 30 minutes is forever when a child is missing. We arrived fast. Inside, I could hear Aria's voice on a microphone. Light. Friendly. Practiced. And remember, it does not have to be expensive. Her words echoed off tile and glass. Above her, a banner hung with her smiling face. We followed mall security to a service hallway. Denise stood there, hands pressed to her mouth, eyes wild. She kept saying, I only looked away for a second. It took effort, but she told us the full story. She and Kayla had waited in line for a photo. When their turn came, Aria's assistant took the phone. Aria leaned in, whispered something to Kayla. After the photo, Aria told Kayla she could show her the hair clips she used, just down the hall. Kayla looked to her mother. Denise, exhausted but wanting her daughter to have this moment, said yes. They walked away together. Kayla looking excited. Aria calm and smiling. Minutes passed. Then more. Denise searched. No Kayla. No Aria. That is when she called security. We locked them all down. We pulled up footage. It showed them walking through a maintenance hallway. Kayla bouncing. Aria pointing ahead. They passed under a camera, then disappeared. They never reached the exit at the end. Officers checked the hallway. A hidden unmarked door. Scrape marks on the floor. A stairwell leading to a loading area. A door to the outside with no camera coverage. We checked exterior cameras. A white crossover vehicle with tinted windows pulling out. The driver wore sunglasses and gold hoops. The profile was unmistakable. We asked security where Aria was. She was still on stage, smiling, helping people pose for pictures. I watched her from the edge of the crowd. Perfect. Calm. Untouched by panic. I felt a surge of anger. We brought her into a conference room. At first she said all the right things. She claimed she barely spoke to Kayla. Then we showed her the still frame of them in the hallway. Her face changed. Cracked. She tried to explain it away. Then she cried. Clean, practiced tears. I have heard enough fake crying in my life to recognize it. We held her at the mall. Meanwhile, we searched. Hours later, we found a prepaid phone box hidden in storage. Traced it. The phone connected near the mall, then moved toward a low-budget motel. We checked motel cameras. A white crossover arrived. A woman in a white hoodie carried a large tote bag inside. We went there immediately. The hallway stank of bleach and old carpet. Inside the room, ring lights waited. A white blanket on the bed. A candle on the nightstand. And in the bathroom, sitting on a closed toilet seat, was Kayla. Knees to her chest. Eyes red. Terrified. When she saw my badge, she threw her arms around me and sobbed, saying, I thought she liked me. We arrested Aria that same night. At a rented house staged like one of her videos. White couch, white rug, flowers, candles. She sat on the floor, makeup smeared. No calm voice. No glow. Just emptiness. Her devices revealed drafts of videos she planned to film with Kayla. Scripts about transforming your identity and building a peaceful life. Chilling stuff. The prosecutor argued she had grown addicted to control. Online, she controlled angles, comments, narratives. In real life, she tried to control a child. She was convicted on multiple counts, including attempted kidnapping. Her accounts were deleted. Brands cut ties. The internet moved on. But my town did not forget. Sometimes I still walk that mall. More empty stores now. More closed gates. If you stand in the center, you can almost hear echoes of that day. A mother's laugh, a girl rehearsing what she'll say to her hero, a soft influencer voice promising peace. And beneath it, a quieter truth. Danger does not always look dangerous. It can have soft lighting, clean counters, a beige hoodie. Parents ask me now what they should do. I tell them this. Teach your kids the difference between someone who looks safe and someone who is safe. Teach them that the internet is not a friend. Teach them that the prettiest traps are the ones we never question. Kayla is older now. She still does her makeup at her bedroom mirror. Still likes soft colors. But she does not follow clean girl influencers anymore. She volunteers at a shelter. She keeps a photo of her mother asleep on the bus that morning. Messy hair, tired eyes. Real love. Not curated. Not filtered. When I asked her why she keeps that photo, she said, "Because that's what caring looks like. Not a girl in a white hoodie telling you how to be perfect." I walked out of that apartment with a heaviness in my chest and a strange kind of hope. People can be fooled. People can be hurt. But they can learn. They can learn the difference between a curated life and a lived one. Between a clean aesthetic and a clean conscience. Between a soft voice that cares and a soft voice that hides teeth. Whenever I scroll past another immaculate vanity setup, another quiet morning video, another girl whispering about glow and calm, I remember Aria in that hallway, and Kayla in that bathroom, and I remember what my job has always truly been: to move past the filters, walk the hallways nobody wants to look at, open the unmarked doors, and remind the world that danger is not always where you expect it to be.